Good morning, dear student. In the previous class, I was explained about the input and output devices. Today, I am going to explain about the storage devices. What is a storage devices? A storage devices is used to store data. Now, we discuss about the storage devices. Information Technology, Class 9, Unit 2, Part 10, that is, Lecture is 10. Now, a storage device. Computer memory is divided into two main parts, primary memory and secondary memory. Now, dear student, our storage device we can divide into two parts, primary memory and secondary memory. What is primary memory? Primary memory is the temporary memory, but secondary memory is the permanent memory. Now, what is the difference between primary memory and secondary memories? First of all, we discuss about the difference between primary memory and secondary memory. Difference between primary and secondary memory. There are different types of differences are available here. First of all, volatility, that means volatile. Primary memory, that means RAM. Random access memory. Random access memory, that is the primary memory. Primary memory is volatile while secondary memory is non-volatile. That means primary memory is a volatile memory and secondary memory is a non-volatile memory. In primary memory, we can store data for a temporary, but in the secondary memory, we can store for a long time our data. This is the volatile memory. Capacity. Next point is our capacity. Primary memory has limited storage capacity. Secondary memory can store unlimited amount of data. That means primary memory has limited storage capacity. It store only few datas, but secondary memory can store unlimited amount of data. If there is a lots of memory in your system and you can store a lots of data, that is capacity. Now, next point is our cost. Primary memory is very expensive to secondary memory in term of cost per unit of data storage. That means primary memory is very expensive than secondary memory. Primary memory is very expensive than the secondary memory. Now, our next point is accessible. Accessible. Primary memory is directly accessible by the CPU, whereas secondary memory is not. That means we can access our data with the help of primary memory directly, as our primary memory received in the motherboard, and the motherboard is CPU, fixed in the fixed CPU. That's why the speed of the primary memory is very fast than the secondary memory. then the secondary memory. So our primary memory is very fast memory, then the secondary memory. Now dear student, all these are the difference is between primary memory and the secondary memory. Now this is the memory. Our topic is storage device and primary memory. Dear student, we can divide our memory in two parts, primary memory and secondary memory, and I am going to discuss about the primary memory, what is primary memory and types of the primary memory. Now what is primary memory? Primary memory, it is also known as main memory. It is the internal memory used by computer to hold data and program needed at that instant by CPU. It has limited storage capacity and volatile in nature. That means our primary memory is the main memory. Primary memory is the main memory of our computer system. It is internal memory used by computer that hold data and program needed at the instant by CPU. Our primary memory is the volatile nature. It has limited capacity. It has limited capacity of data. This is the primary memory. And now we can divide the primary memory in the two main parts. Now the two types of primary memory are as follow. There are two types of primary memory, RAM and ROM. RAM ROM and ROM ROM. Now we discuss about RAM, random access memory. Random access memory is the full name of RAM. It is the internal memory. This memory is often associated with volatile types of memory. It is the internal memory. This memory is often associated with the volatile types of memory. Now it also we can divide in two forms, SRAM and DRAM. That means SRAM means static RAM and DRAM means dynamic RAM. Now first we discuss about the SRAM, static RAM, static random access memory. It is a computer memory that requires a constant power to flow in order to hold information. It is more expensive, which require more power. Now dear student, static RAM is more expensive because it requires a lots of power to follow our order, our data, our information. It is erasable. Static RAM is erasable, and then we type. It is the temporary memory type. This is the SRAM. Now we can also discuss about DRAM, that means dynamic RAM. Now our next topic is DRAM, dynamic RAM. It stores information in a cell containing a capacitor and transistor. These cells must be refreshed with electronic impulses in few milliseconds. This process also memory to keep charge which hold the data as long as needed. That means in a RAM, all information are stored in a cell. In cell, a capacitor and resistor are available. If we want to store our data for long distance, then we refresh with electronic impulses in few milliseconds and time to time. Now, also it is slower than SRAM. That means dynamic RAM is slower than static RAM. It is slower than SRAM. This is the dynamic RAM. Now, there are some enhanced version RAM which are as follow. Now, dear student, we can also divide the RAM in different parts, different types. Now, which are as follow. First, EDO RAM, that means extended data output RAM. SD RAM, synchronous dynamic RAM. Our next is DDR SD RAM, double data rate synchronous dynamic RAM. This is the different types of versions. That means enhanced version are all these. Now, this is the dynamic RAM. Now, dear student, in the next class, I will discuss about the ROM. ROM. This is the also primary memory. Now, if you have any types of problem, you call this number. Now, thank you.